song to ask them to play because I'm not cool enough.
That's the best thing about music you can't hear. It's just totally cool. Okay.
Music in my head. I got it.
Ready? Okay, it's like disco, all right?
Oh, Lord. I was really alive when disco was cool.
Okay.
No, seriously,
so thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I forgot my intro. Thank you so much, Lisa, for being with me. This is Melissa Reyes. I'm Melissa Reyes, and this is 10 Minutes in Tinsel Town. And I have the pleasure of interviewing Lisa Flowers tonight. And she is going to talk to us about digital strategy, marketing, internet, social media, and international culture, all kinds of fun things. There's so much. I have so many questions for you. So I'm going to make sure that music is off, whatever, if it even ever came on. Okay, cool. And great. This is kind of interesting. Okay, so, technology. It's bringing us together, and it's a learning curve. There's so many great new things that we could do, and this is one of them. So thank you for meeting me on blab.im. It's a new app that is being released, but I've been on it for a few months as a beta tester. So I'm really happy that more people are coming. So how are you, Lisa?
I am fine. I hope everybody can hear me. I am all the way on the East Coast of the United States in sunny, beachy Delaware. About 25 miles from the beach, about an hour and a half outside of DC. This is my first time on blab.im. Very excited to be here. Melissa, thank you so much for inviting me, and I am honored to be here, and I really appreciate everyone coming, and I'm learning how to respond back and talk at the same time. It's a little bit hard for me, but so I see everybody over there in the stream. Thank you so much. Rock Girl 2, and our other guest is here, and then the fabulous guy that helped us, and everybody else visiting, so thank you.
Well, it's pretty neat. I'll just give you a little tour of the room. You can, at the top where it says 33 viewers, 8 now watching, and then there's 8 bubbles. And if you hover over the bubble with your mouse, you can see their profile and their name. So we have Bobby, Ruth from SoCal Pocket Memories. She's a great friend of mine. And we have Mordant Mann, who's our next guest. We'll be interviewing him. And I like to, he just, you know what? It's not bad that he makes me laugh because he's a comedian. We have Angie. We have you. We have Devon. We have Sherry. And me. So I hope more people come. And if I want to ask more people to come, I can, over on the left, it says tell a little bird. And I can compose a tweet and send a tweet out right now and tell people who's here. And it adds on like it has your Twitter name because you're with me. And you could see those on the left or one side. And then on the other side, you have the comments, and everybody is welcome to make a comment or ask questions. And if you want to ask a question, the way to raise your hand is by doing I think it's Q/ or /Q. I'm going to try it. I think it's Q and then /. And then when you type it in, nope. I'm bad at this. It never works for me. /Q. What's that? There.
A quick question, Melissa. Oh, what was it? Q?
/ and then Q. And then you write your question, and the word question comes up. / and then Q.
And a quick question. When it says tell a little bird, does it automatically populate everything?
It automatically populates, and you could just hit post tweet, but you could also change it. You can compose a tweet. You can add different things. And so I've been kind of doing that all day. And I know you've been retweeting, and that's been awesome. So then also the last thing I'm going to mention is that in the title on the left, I can change it. If you're in the room, you could change it too. So there's a little edit box on the left. So where it says 10 minutes in Tinsel Town, Lisa Flowers and Armardant Mahan. So I could change that. So like I could say what we're talking about. So, I'm going to leave it like that for right now.
That's great.
Okay, so it's 6:04. It's perfect timing. So hi, everybody. Welcome to 10 Minutes in Tinsel Town. I've got Lisa Flowers here, and she's from Delaware, and she is going to be talking to me about social media strategy. And Lisa, tell us about yourself.
I'm originally from Louisiana, the boring part though.
Oh.
But New Orleans is great. And I was in DC for about 15 years and moved over to Delaware to be near a family member after I had my son. I'm an instructor for a local college. I also am a certified instructor for the National Institute for Social Media. And you can become certified as a social media strategist. I teach online and on ground. And then the classes I teach at the college range from business to social media to anything regarding influence and strategies. And then I have my consulting firm, and we'll talk about that later, how I just got back from Nigeria from Social Media Week, and we'll talk about that. But I've been a traditional marketer for years. I'm very old, and I do remember the 70s. And I grew up, doing print and broadcast media and stuff like that. And so social media is simply another tool for all of us traditional marketers. So.
Well, I just love that your titles, you're a business strategist, a traditional marketer, a social media evangelist, an international speaker, an award-winning copywriter. Wow, that's an impressive resume. I'm so honored to have you here with me and to give us some insights as to where our digital marketing is going and how to transition from traditional to social media. So thank you again. And I mean, when I first saw that you taught this at the college level, I was like, oh my gosh, I think that's how I connected with you first. I just latched onto you because if I could stop what I'm doing and focus on an area of study, this would be it. If I knew that I could do this for a living, I would have studied this 10 years ago. And so I never really wanted to study anything before. I mean, I definitely had a lot of interest in people pushing me into different directions that would have been great, but I went the mom direction, and that was fantastic. So now I'm finding myself in a place where I'm good at something that I know very little about. So I want to know as much as I can about it. And you said in my pre-interview that you like what you find. The thing that you like to do for fun is what you do for your job, for social media. And so, and teaching. And I think that is exactly, you're exactly who I want to interview, because you're somebody who has found what your passion is and what your purpose in life is, and you're doing it. So I commend you for that. So tell us, how did it all get started?
Well, first, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm going to let my cat out because he's starting to fuss. But
all right.
So tell the people.
Okay. Well, first of all, I may have to let my dog out, but as I mentioned, I'm a traditional marketer, and I worked in the publishing. I worked for a very large nonprofit in DC for a long time in the publishing industry, and I worked in a division actually called New Media. And that was like websites and email marketing and things like that. So social media, when it came along with Facebook and Twitter, I just kind of jumped on it. Now I go way back to when we had bulletin boards, if anybody can remember that in the 80s. And so way back then, but I never really focused on social media because it was new. And that is the beauty of social media now, is that anyone can do it. It is certainly not rocket science. It does take a plan, which I think a lot of people, just kind of go out there and do the shotgun approach. And it's easy to do that, and you're distracted by the shiny lights and bells and whistles. Right. And so for me, I just spent the last 5 years in school. I got 3 degrees in 5 years. I'm so overeducated, it's silly. And I did all of that while doing all of these other things. So for the folks that say, I don't have time, you have time. The amount of time you spend watching TV, all those other things, you just have to figure out what you like. So in my classes, what I do is tell people simply, start with one platform and then work it until you know it in a way that you want to know it, and then move on to the next. For me, the video portion of all of this is new. You know, I kind of like the anonymity behind tweeting and Facebook and stuff like that. And so I don't have to like put on lipstick, and I don't have to like, you know, all that other stuff. I can do it anywhere. But social media is a tool, and there are people who have never had jobs who do social media really well. Yeah. And when I say had jobs, meaning that social media is their very first thing they've ever tried. So sometimes they don't always get the connectivity of putting in the traditional media. So that's where I kind of come in, as the strategy part of that. Is what are you trying to accomplish?
Right.
Exactly.
Because, you know, I'm pleased as punch because I like to connect with people, and I have felt for a while now, probably 5 or 6 years, that social media was taking away that personal connection. And so with video, it's brought it back, and that's where I feel like I can really really push forward. And so interviewing, it instantly went to video, and I've been clamoring to find the right platform. And so this has been a godsend. But, you know, for me, I'm a hobbyist. I have a full-time job that has nothing to do with this. And I can't wait to dive in. So what would you suggest somebody do if they wanted to get into the field, yet they're not really in it? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It's like anything else. You have to figure out where your passion lies. And I remember when I was 18 and everybody wanted me, you know, to go to college. And I'm like, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. How can I figure out what I'm going to do with my life? I mean, I don't even know what's going to happen the next day, much less in 4 years. Or what if I hated it? And so that's the beauty of social media, for example, is you're going to go and you're going to try out these different platforms, see what you like, see what the right fit is. But you got to figure out what part of it you like, and that's what you focus on. So, for example, Twitter for me is a wonderful platform, and it has certainly brought me worldwide attention and opportunities. But so is Facebook, you know. And now there's this medium that, you know, people can actually see you in action and hear your voice. I would say to focus on what you think is your passion. So if you really, really like to write, maybe you should start a blog. Can you hear me? Because you just went blank.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, great. So, okay.
Does it just look blank? Okay.
No, it actually has an ad on it. So
it's you. Right. It says your name.
Great. I see. It's the promo for the show.
Okay, sorry, I'm playing around.
No, that's okay.
So you were saying
to make sure
that I wasn't gone. I'm here. So, okay. I see somebody on the side said there's an ad there. It's not. It's an ad for Lisa. Okay, so you were saying to focus on one thing. If you're really good at writing, focus on that thing.
If that's what you like. I mean, you can be good at something and not really like doing it, you know? And I think that's where social media offers you those different options. I teach online classes, and admittedly, I miss the interaction in the classroom with online classes. I just don't think there's a way to see the facial expressions, and you can try and do some video and stuff like that. But I really like the one-on-one. What social media has really afforded me is an opportunity to develop a brand. And a lot of people think that I'm a blogger, for example, and I don't blog. I blog for some of my clients, but I don't really blog. But that was kind of the genre, so to speak, that I was in initially. And there are some fantastic blogging conferences out there. And then I got really into Twitter. And that is just a fantastic platform to promote things like this and meet new people. You know, Facebook is your neighborhood. So it's the people that you know, and it's the people that you want to know. And Twitter is kind of like the world's watering hole. You know, everybody kind of goes there to find out the latest, greatest, the latest and greatest news. Andy
Right.
Carvin was the guy who, with all of the stuff overseas, how he started with a tweet in reporting the news. So
Right.
building a brand online is the key to online success. And that means focusing on the one platform or one thing that you do that you really have a passion for.
I'm making faces because while you're talking, I'm trying to make the new title, and you keep saying these wonderful things. They keep changing it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have see, that's the thing about this medium is that you'll see my facial expression and I can't control my own. Okay.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So now, yeah, that Twitter, and I see what you're saying. So when I wanted to increase my numbers, because I am a blobber, I'm a blabber now, but I was a blogger. And so people are always asking you how many followers you have on different platforms. And so I would focus just on Twitter, or then I would change to just Instagram or whatever. And I know that's not exactly what you're talking about, but when you immerse yourself into one certain field or platform or certain focus, that is when, you get engaged with people and connect with people. So that's kind of what you're saying, from what I get.
Well, I think you have to find what you really like, where your passion is. Like, I like Twitter because it is so much short burst of information. And you can find people that you don't even know and follow people that you would never, ever be able to talk to, in traditional marketing, as an example. And I see the question over there that SoCal Memories has.
Yeah.
Do you think that Instagram will turn into Facebook with the algorithm? That's interesting, because I just saw the article today about that. I think that, that Facebook is going to be what Facebook is going to be. And if they have opportunities to get more of us there and have us stay there a little bit, they're going to do that. Instagram, I don't think has, in my opinion, the connectivity that Facebook has. So do you think that Instagram will turn into Facebook? They could. More cooks in the kitchen and more things to choose from, because maybe people don't like Facebook. They say that all of the kids got off Facebook, for example. And I think in every country, in every area of the country as well, people are on different things, doing different things. I know people that just go on Facebook to look at pictures of family, but they're all over Instagram, as an example. So yeah, I think Instagram certainly would have the potential to grow up, so to speak, to become more robust.
I love Instagram. And I love them all. And I love that when they're different, that there's certain things you could do on one that you can't do on the other. And then I like doing it on one thing and then just blasting it in all the different places, like posting pictures or comments. Right. So, and I don't really pay attention to the changes in the algorithms. And even I've learned by being a beta tester and being in discussion groups, listening to and speaking with developers who are actually doing the behind the scenes work. And I see how hard they work. In fact, at any moment, a Blab developer might come in the room. They do that all the time here. And they give advice and they ask questions. And I feel like they're always going to be trying new things, and it's based on so much. And having been an executive assistant, I've seen this in management as well, where it's going to be what they change when they finally make a change has gone through so much decision-making process and trial and error before it actually goes out. And as an end user, there's not a lot you could do to change what just happened. You can only make changes going forward by speaking up and getting your questions and concerns to the right people, rather than going, why did you do that? Did I miss the way it used to be? So how do you feel about that? Am I alone in that thought process?
Well, there was an article, I think it just came out today, that I thought SoCal Memories was referring to, but in rereading her question, she was focusing on Instagram. There was an article today put out about Facebook. Their notes section is going to become the new blogging platform.
I noticed it said
that's going to be really, really interesting.
The terminology I was putting a post and it was really saying like publish instead of post. And I thought that sounded like a blog term from WordPress or something. Interesting. Well, changes are happening and fast, and I know they're doing live streaming on Facebook as well. So I haven't seen it, but I've seen it, but haven't been paying much attention to that. But yeah, it's interesting. So, your specialty is in connecting, and you said, you connect companies, cultures, and countries. And I'd really like to know about your experience in other countries. So do you want to tell us about that?
I will. I'll start with Malaysia. Let me do that one first. So I was on Twitter and following all these people, and by the way, Twitter chats are absolutely fantastic for building your online brand and meeting new people and gaining influence. And so I was doing a couple of Twitter chats, media chat, brand chat. Those are two that are pretty good. And got to know different people, and people kind of from all over. And when I was headed to Malaysia to Social Media Week last year, 2014 in February, I thought, let me just kind of reach out and see who's out there. And so I looked on Twitter and did keyword, did hashtag searches, right. And I looked kind of around Facebook and just simply reached out to people that I knew were going to be going to the show or the exhibitors at this conference and said, hey, I'm going to be in Malaysia for this show. I'd love to meet up with you. And that's how it started. And I ended up going over there and speaking, not at the show itself, but to some local nonprofits about your online voice and everything else. And so that was proof to me that you can reach out to anyone about anything, and at least they're going to listen. Mm-hmm. And if they don't respond, I don't bother. I'm like, okay, fine. Now some people say, well, I'm not on LinkedIn all the time, so I didn't get your message till 2 weeks later. That's fine. Yeah. But that's kind of how I started in going over to Malaysia. And then there were some other things going on while I was there, and I couldn't really focus on what I went there for, but that was a good example for me. Yeah. And in between all of that, way back in 2012, a journalist from Cameroon who's living in Nigeria, either I tweeted him or he tweeted me, I don't know, one of those two, and we just kind of became friends. Then we became Facebook friends. And that one tweet led me to Nigeria last year to meet all these people that I had met online, all these social media people and these journalists and just other online friends. And it's set in place. I created a quick little hashtag called Lisa in Lagos, and it's set in motion this 2-week whirlwind of interviews on radio, TV, magazines, newspapers. And so I'd be on a radio interview, and just kind of tweeting while I'm talking, or my friends there would be tweeting, and they would say, they'd follow the hashtag and they'd say, Lisa, we want you to come here. We want to interview you over here. Mm-hmm. So it's easier with social media to build your brand and to do it more quickly and efficiently versus having a press conference and stuff like that.
Right. How long ago was that?
My first trip to Nigeria was last year, 2014. And that was in August of last year. And then I was asked to come back and spoke at Social Media Week in Lagos, and did a masterclass on Twitter, using Twitter for influence, and then moderated a panel on internet accessibility and stuff. So it's just been amazing.
And why Nigeria? I mean, I know you said one tweet kind of led to it, but that's a
why
big
Nigeria?
jump.
I know. It is. Well, here's the sad part about it. Nigeria kind of has this rap, kind of like Colombia did. And, back in the 80s and the 90s, everything about Colombia, it was cocaine related, and Nigeria's got this thing about scams. And there are some scammers there, just like there are scammers everywhere else. Mm-hmm. And so I just happened to make some friends there, my journalist friend, and then ended up meeting a lot more people. Mm-hmm. And they were just good people. And they really want to learn from us because they view the United States as, the end all of internet ideas and all this other stuff. And, I spoke at universities, and
how long were you there?
Journalists.
Each time?
The first time I was there 3 weeks. I was there 3 weeks. And then this last trip, I was there a little over 2 weeks. But but it's a huge, I mean, you know, Lagos is a huge country. I mean, a huge city with millions of people. So
Oh my goodness.
a lot to do there.
And I know so little about Nigeria, except for I think I shared with you that I have a friend who is a priest who's from Nigeria that we were helping for his village. And so I know that little snapshot of what was happening for him, and getting running water there and helping to find children that had been misplaced and put into service. And, you know, so there's some serious issues that he was having that I'm familiar with. But other than that, like the cities, I know nothing about. I have to be perfectly honest. So it's always eye-opening and satisfying to me to learn about things that I don't know about. So this is really opening my eyes, and I appreciate that. And that is what you do. That's how you make connections and connect people with cultures, right? Just kind of opening a door to something.
Right. And for example, you know, people, including Nigerians, are like, why would you come here? I mean, you know, why would you go there? Why would you come here? But once I got there, they were like, let's just sit down and talk. It was really interesting to meet in real life. And so all of those online conversations, you simply, after you, the first 30 seconds of meeting someone in real life, you know, you get over the little, oh, that's how her mouth works when she talks, or, oh, that's what she looks like, or whatever. After that initial little bit of uncomfortable part of things, you just kind of pick up your online conversation. And so that's what we did with all these people. I had two women that flew in across the country just to meet with me for like an hour to talk, just to fly in. And then they ended up holding a social media meetup for me later on. And then when I went back the second time, they flew me back across the country to come and do a presentation at this leadership academy. So I think that as Americans, we sit here in our houses with the air conditioning and the electricity and the great internet accessibility and all those other things. And there's a whole other world out there.
Yes.
And not only can we make a difference here to the people in our communities, in our online communities, but we can certainly make a difference anywhere else. And in all of my presentations that I do, I always include a slide for Nigeria for Bring Back Our Girls, which are the girls that were kidnapped by the Boko Haram. So that, you know, that tweet in 1 week was retweeted 1 million times at its peak. 1 million times in 1 week. It was just amazing. So, but here's the greatest part about my trip to Nigeria, is that I met my sweetness there, and we got married on my last trip there. So we've been together now a little over 3 years. And so that's like the best part about Nigeria.
I don't even have to ask you a question, because you're telling exactly what I was going to ask about. I wanted you to tell me your love story.
Oh, my Lord.
Tell the story, lucky. Not just that you met him. What happened? How did it happen?
Well, it was online, and we met through an online friend, and I kind of, you know, got to talking to him, and, you know, everybody does this online dating thing, and I just wasn't feeling the love for all of that. And I met through an online friend and met him, and I was kind of like, let me have somebody check him out. And so my journalist friend there went and checked him out, you know, and it's like, yeah, he's on the up and up and whatever. And so we have spent the last 3 years with this online romance of Skyping and phone calls and emails and tweets. And thank goodness he's a great conversationalist, because I tend to talk a lot, as you can tell. And just so personable. And it just really goes to show that love really doesn't have any boundaries, especially when it comes to social media and the relationships that you form online. Even all of you guys listening now, and you sitting over there on the West Coast, those kinds of relationships are the ones that really can lead to other things, whether it's other opportunities for business, opportunities for simply connecting with cultures. You know, I left my son here, went to Nigeria, clear across the world, took forever to freaking get there. But you know, it was part of the experience. And so a lot of people I know, they travel, but they stay on the resort. And I tend to not do that. I tend to go off the resort, but there's a lot of opportunities in Africa. Mhm.
What did you think when you were getting on the plane the first time to Malaysia or to Nigeria? What were you thinking to yourself?
Well,
You went
Malaysia,
by
it was
yourself?
Malaysia. I went by myself, and I was going to actually meet
I
him
don't
up
like
there.
going shopping by myself.
Girl, you need to get out, girl. You
I
need to get
do.
out. Yeah,
I
you
do. We're going to
do.
Tokyo next summer, but that's with the
Ooh.
family.
Okay, so hold on now. I could maybe arrange a trip there. I got to think about social media opportunities, and we could
Yes,
go.
absolutely.
But here's what I tell people. I mean, first of all, life is too short. Life
Yeah.
is too flippin' short to not do those things that you need to do, because your life in the end is going to be about the things you did, not the wishes. It's going to be about who you connected with and who you could say, oh my gosh, he gets me, or
Right.
I understood where she was coming from,
Right.
and that is what it's really all about. And so if you're using social media for your business, that's great. If you're using it for a little bit of social activities, that's even better, to me at least.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Mm-hmm.
Ronald guy just mentioned, great conversation comes from smart people.
Very nice comment.
That's
Yes.
interesting, because the conversation can go from one side of the world to the other side of the world and change in a heartbeat. So, but what I was thinking when I
And
got on the plane to Malaysia was,
yeah.
we're going to see if this works. That's what I was really
Um,
thinking. We're going to see if social media really works. And it did. I got off the plane,
wow.
people that were like, hey, Lisa, how are you doing? I've never seen these people in my life. You know what I
Right.
mean? Never seen them in my life. The same thing going to Nigeria, except for then it was a mixture of things. But it's the same premise, is that you have to just kind of jump right out there on trust and faith or whatever you got. And I
Right.
tend to do it on a sense of adventure, because what's the worst that could
Yes.
happen? What's the very
Yeah.
worst that could happen? I could get kidnapped or killed. That same kind of stuff could happen right here. So
Yes, it's true. That's
that's
true.
how I
And
looked
I'm
at
an
it.
adventurer too. I really am. And sometimes like you comment about shopping. I guess I have two sides because sometimes I'll, sway one way or the other, but I'm willing to go for an adventure, and I like to meet new people and do new things, and I've challenged myself in those ways, but you seem like it's so natural to you, and I'm so glad you're sharing. And if you know what, let's take a break. It's 6:30. Let's take a little break. We're not going anywhere. It's kind of like a radio break.
Okay.
I want to say hi to everybody on the side, have a little sip of
Okay,
water,
great.
and then, okay. So I want to acknowledge, the people that are here now on Blab. We have Corby, life coach. Thank you for coming to the Blab. I'm going to follow you. I'm a life coach too. We have Ruth from SoCal Memories at SoCal Memories. You got to check out her wonderful magazine blog about traveling in Southern California and with her kids. We have Ramon, my friend Ramon. Thank you so much. You're always there to support me. I really appreciate you being here. I see Bruce. Thank you so much, Bruce. You're awesome. Keep the comments and questions coming. And Mordant, Mahan is still there. Man, Mordant, I'm so glad you're still here
I
because we're
love
going to be
his
interviewing you
name.
next. He's got an awesome name. He has an
I
awesome
know.
story. He's an incredible energy. He's a life coach. He's a comedic life coach. What's better than that? So he's going to come in and we're going to have some laughs and talk about life. And then we've got Angie. I'm going to follow you. Thank you for coming into my Blab. And Devon, thank you so much. And Sherry. And I want to thank, I saw some tweeters over here. My good friend Jay tweeted out for us. They really appreciate that, Jay. That means a lot. And I'm not just saying that. Bobby and Angie, thank you for the tweets. And thank you so much, Lisa and Mordant, for being here. And he's blushing. I can always make him blush. I don't know why, but I could tell when somebody's blushing, even if I can't see them. So, Lisa.
Yes, ma'am.
We've talked about your business. We've talked about your traveling a little bit. And I have a couple more questions for you. One is, what do you like to do for fun to relax and balance your life? How do you keep it all together so you have that pretty smiling face without, any wrinkles?
Oh, good lighting. No, I'm too soon. Well, as I mentioned, I just got finished with school with my third degree, and so that happened at the end of May. And so this is August. So I've spent the summer. I'm not teaching this summer, June and July, and this month. So I'm not teaching at all, and catching up. And I've become a Netflix addict, and I binge watch different things on Netflix, which is very sad, but that's kind of fun.
Say goodbye to that, because now you're going to be into blabs. I was binge watching until I got into this.
Oh my Lord!
I don't even watch TV anymore.
Yeah, I barely watched it the last 5 years, but what I do for fun, I mean, I really do like social media, and I tweet and do Instagram and Facebook. I really like that. To me, that's so much fun. But I spend time with my son, and sometimes that really is unplugging and just like going outside without your phone. I don't have to take pictures of every freaking piece of grass, or everything that he does.
You don't?
I don't. If I'm very lucky, and I haven't been lucky this summer yet, but if I'm very lucky, I love to go salsa dancing and things like that. I was married to a Colombian, and boy, that was fun with all the dancing and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I do for fun. I love social media. I really do that for fun. And
you like to host dinners? I think you told me you like to host dinners. Do you like to cook or entertain?
Entertain. I like cooking, as in here's food, let's sit down and talk about it, but when I lived in DC, we used to have these fantastic dinner parties, and the deal was we were all single then. We were like little orphans living in DC. Our families didn't live there, and so everybody had to bring a new person. And you had to bring that new person, whether there's boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it was, to the dinner party, and you had to bring something to eat, and it couldn't be chips. It had to be like real food. And so that could be like deli food kind of, I guess. But and we had wine, and we had, like 10 or 12 people. And so every time you came, you brought somebody new. And it was just a really great way for everybody to kind of come out of their shell. And you know how you have friends you only introduce to certain friends and stuff like that?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. You're like, all right, we're bringing them to show them to everybody. But
oh my goodness.
So yeah, I like entertaining in regards to good food and good people. I prefer not to cook at all, but I shouldn't say that. I do like cooking, but I don't like cleaning up and going shopping for all those ingredients and things like that.
I'm with you. I like doing it maybe once or twice a year, special occasion. And I like making hors d'oeuvres, I like to make things from scratch, but I generally don't like the whole action of cooking. But I like that we would have great dinner parties together. My gosh, we have so much in common, the little things that cross over.
I know. You're right. I think we determined that the first 10 minutes of chatting that we're twins. We could be twins.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. So
it's interesting.
I do want to kind of just share with everybody, in regards to the social media thing, because a lot of times parents connect with me and they're like, wait a minute, I'm really concerned about social media with my youngster or my teen or tween or all those other things. And here's what I share with them. I was like, you don't have to know everything about social media, but you certainly, if you have children that are online, should have some sort of app that monitors it. I don't have any.
And what age group are you talking about?
Well, I mean, my son's 9, and I let him get on my phone, and so I watch everything that he does. I mean, I don't let him get on it very long, but and he also has a tablet, and so it's a Google account attached to the tablet. So I'm very careful about what he does. He's not old enough yet to be as curious as I think some other folks probably are, but there are certainly apps that are out there that can help you monitor things. But it's something that everybody needs to be aware of, but you don't have to know everything about it. But I will share a story very briefly. It's a very sad story, but I'm going to share it because it's important. The very first boy that I ever kissed, his name was Kevin Bloxham. And we connected online over Facebook a couple years ago and stuff. And he had gotten married and everything and had a child. And he had this son who was on Facebook and had met this little girl online. And his son was 13 and, was texting with her, and the family saw her pictures on Facebook. And, it was kind of cool. It's like, okay, he's 13, just getting into it. And the family was all right with that because everything happened in the kitchen, right at their laptop, you know, and he had a phone that he could call and text message, and they monitored that. And he had a sleepover, and he went with his friend to the sleepover, you know, over to his friend's house to the sleepover. And the girl texted him and said, hey, this is the best time for us to meet. You know, I'm going to send a taxi cab, a yellow taxi cab, and we're going to finally meet for the first time because your family wants us to meet, you know, because they're approving. Wow. And so, you know, whatever time in the middle of the night, he went outside and there was a yellow taxi cab. And the next morning, his friend wakes up and they couldn't find him. And they found his body in a pond because the taxi cab driver, the little girl that the family, you know, certainly trusted and he trusted, ended up being a pedophile. So as much as the family thought that this was someone, because there were pictures, you know, there was everything. And the guy ended up being, I think he was using his daughter's pictures or something. So a terrible story.
That's
but
horrible.
You know, it ranges from you meet and fall in love online to look at these horrors, but you just have to find your balance. And when it comes to business, when business owners get frustrated, they're kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing online. I'm all over the place. You know, what I share with them is, you know what you're doing on the platform that you're on. And so if your clients are over on Facebook, for example, then be on there and be looking a little bit more closely. That isn't really related to my friend's son, unfortunately, but it does relate to whatever platform you're on. Just be on it and be active on it. Because if that's where
be
your
yourself,
customers
be real on it.
Right.
What would you say if you could say something that would have prevented that from happening? What would you have advised your friend to do? Did they do everything right and it was one of those things, or could they have done a little bit more control? I mean,
I don't know that in that situation that they could have done anything differently except meet her in person. I mean,
social media, thank you.
You know, yes, thank you. You're all the way over in the UK. Oh, dear Lord. But I think that they did everything that they could do given the circumstances. And at what point do you say, let's meet? You know, I don't know how long they were talking online, but it was long enough that the family trusted that that's who they were talking to.
But
you know, like
the family didn't know, like the family didn't know about the taxi showing up in the middle of the night. I mean, that's something kids could do and think was okay when, surely that wouldn't have been allowed. But
and I don't know how you tell kids not to do that. You know what I mean? I mean, I snuck out of the house when I was 15 years old to meet boys. You know, but I didn't meet them online. But I mean, but I don't know.
Well, you know what we had when we were young was chat phone party lines.
Oh yeah,
and party lines, and also classified ads. Yes. And I had friends I went with a friend one time who had been, chat or talking on the phone with someone that she met through a classified ad and wanted to meet him. And she asked my friend and another friend of ours, she asked me and another friend of ours to go with her to the mall. And we weren't even driving yet. We had to be 14, 15. We got dropped off at the mall and she was going to meet this guy. And he turned out, of course, to be older, not what he described himself to be looking like. But you know what? Because they had this connection, she still liked him. She had to lie about who he was because he wasn't a young person that she could introduce to her family, but she still dated him. And he was older. I mean, he probably was definitely over 18. He was probably more like 22 or 23. And we were 15. It was wrong on so many levels. And, we were trying to get her to stop, but she was like, oh, he's really nice, and so that could have turned tragic. It didn't. But that's the kind of thing that the kids always do. But now it is so much more intense with people misrepresenting themselves. And that is another reason why I like the video. So I'm not going to go into any more detail on that because we could just go story after story. But I think that the point is to really really be cautious. It's great to have an adventure and to fall in love, and what happened to you all worked out great. But man, you could have died. You know?
Yeah. That's what my family says. They're like, "What?" Because I think it's I don't remember what time it was, but yeah, there were whatever the time zone different was. But let me go back to the business side of things and social media and how that can make a difference with influence. If you're trying to switch careers, if you are now in, let's just say the restaurant industry as an example, and you're trying to switch careers, you could easily kind of smooth your way into a social media career by doing reviews at your local restaurants, or talking about customer service skills in the restaurant industry. If you are an auto mechanic and you're wanting to, get into another line of work or whatever, let's say you're wanting to increase your business. I mean, that in itself, by simply being online and talking with people and offering tips, is a great way to get more clients. A lot of people say, well, I don't want to give away all of my knowledge, online and stuff. But, we all do it every day. When people are like, I want to pick your brain, or let me just grab a cup of coffee with you, and all those other things. Yeah. And
come on my show and tell me everything you know.
I don't think I've shared too much with you yet, but I will. I'll share whatever you want. But there's a couple of points that I do try to make in my classes, and I'm going to be the keynote speaker for an economic summit here in Delaware next month. And some of the points that I'll make there, the very first one is that as a business or a brand, as a personal brand, if you're trying to go full time in it or whatever it might be, but as a business in particular, if you're not online, then you are telling your customers that you don't want to talk to them. So that's what I tell, especially the locals here. They're like, I don't have time for social media. I don't have, this and that. If you're not online talking to your customers, somebody else is.
Yeah. And that's where the people are. That's where we are.
Yeah. That's where the people are. And from a personal standpoint, branding wise, I tell people, find and use your voice. And if you're not quite sure what that is or where that is, just test it out. Whether that's a blog, whether that's starting a Facebook group, whether that's doing something like you're doing, because think of all the people you've met. Heavens,
oh my God,
that's amazing. So
next week we're celebrating the 1-year anniversary of my show, and I'm going to bring back a lot of people. So I'm really excited about that, and it's just taken me so far. I'm loving it. So thank you so much for all of your advice. And you know what? We're running out of time. Can you believe it? It's been 47 minutes since we started talking. It went by so fast.
It did.
And so I just want to take a quick moment. I have one more question for you. But before I ask you that question, I'm going to acknowledge that I have a sponsor. And I have an item that I can give away. If anybody's interested in trying out this Aurora, I don't know, because in social media, we see things and we don't get to hear what it sounds like. The Aurora Aqua Towel. It's a high quality, super absorbent microfiber towel that's like a beach towel size. It's 32 by 68 inches, and it's the microfiber. It's so soft and so absorbent. It's unlike any towel you've ever tried. I tried it and I loved it, and I'm going to have a review of it on the blog. And if anybody is interested in having a towel for free from Aurora, it's Aurora Yoga. So just tweet them and hashtag Ms. Meliz or 10 minute and say something like, I'd like to have my own Aurora towel, or I saw it on 10 minutes in Tinsel Town, and you can get your own. And it's like a $35 value. It's a beautiful towel. They come in gorgeous colors. They're it'll be on the blog, and it's the Twitter is at Aurora Yoga, but it's AURORAE Yoga.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So they gave me one. I tried it. It's awesome. And unfortunately, it's in the car right now, but I will have pictures of it and my review of it on the blog. And if any of you do that tweeting and do the hashtag 10minute, TENMINITT. Again, all that's going to be on the blog at MsMeliz.com. You can be chosen to have a free one. And it's a really cool thing. They're really pretty too, and soft, very soft.
Cool.
So you got to check that out. So thank you for that. And now I'm going to bring on or unlock the room here. And if Mordant is around, we'll let him on. I think he might have. Yeah. Oh, he's ready, boy. Wow. Okay. I'm accepting. So this is going to be our next guest, and we're going to all be together for a little while. How are you, Mordant?
I'm good. Can you see and hear me?
I can see you. I can hear you. Your voice sounds like an angel.
I have somebody. I'm so excited.
So excited. So here's my last question for Lisa, and I wanted you to be here too in case you have something to say about this. If either of you, Lisa, if you could do one thing that would change the world for the better, what would it be? Only one thing. Did you hear me?
Listen. I would listen.
You would listen. That's your answer?
I would listen more. Mm-hmm.
And it would change the world, wouldn't it?
It would. Think about how many people don't feel like they've been heard. They don't have a voice.
Oh, that's interesting that you say that, because I just made a promise to someone recently who we've been miscommunicating, and I said, yeah, look, I promise I'll listen more. And you're right. That's what it takes, I think, to really make a difference. What about you, Mordant? If you could do one thing to change the world for the better, what would it be?
I would help people laugh.
You would help people laugh?
And,
that's what you do.
I do a little bit of that in my day job. I do a little bit of that. Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty deep, huh? Deep way to start. But I think it's so important for us to think about that. And
I know.
And I want to just make sure I say to Lisa, you're a total rock star. You are a superstar, and that's why I have you on 10 Minutes in Tinsel Town as my guest, because I want everyone to see how you shine your light brightly, and where you really lead the way, and people can see, that you are listening and you are doing things that will change the world. And you, by connecting people together and by just coming and talking to me, it really shows how you shine. And you're a total rock star. Thank you so much for being on 10 Minutes in Tinsel Town. Stick around, but and if you have any questions, now's the time to ask. And then we'll move on to part 2 with Mordant Mann.
Thank you so much for having me on. I've never done this type of an interview before. And so this was exciting, a little nerve-wracking, but for me, but it went smoothly overall. I really appreciated everyone's patience with me getting on to get going and stuff, and everyone now. So now I get to chat with everybody over here on the right, and then I'll retweet and stuff. But I did want to share with everyone, please feel free to reach out to me on Twitter at Lisa L. Flowers. And I'm happy to follow each of you here as well as on Twitter. And I'm looking forward to listening to your next guest. And thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you again. So it's so awesome to have you here. I really appreciate your time. And the video, I will post it up on my blog tonight, so you can go back and see the post that I did yesterday that has all the information, ways to connect with you, the show notes, and the video will be embedded there. And it won't have all of the chatting. It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to look great. You'll be so impressed.
I already was. All right, great.
Okay.
Thank you. So do I need to do anything to log off, or just you just
I'll just
and they can't I can like
I'll
pick
kick
my
you
nose
on out. Time for the boot. Here comes the hook to pull you away. Ready? Okay. All right. Well, that was Lisa Flowers, and she is such an awesome rock star. Thank you so much for being here with me. So I still hear you, but I don't see you, Mordant. Gotta try again. Try again. Try.
Just fine. I see you just.
I can still hear you, which is weird. but I don't see you in my stream at all. Does everybody else see Mordant? I'm going to dance.
Okay, I'm ready to dance.
Let's
as long
dance.
as you know. Do that.
Woo! I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I can't sing a song, but I think I like it. All right. Thank you so much. And thanks for coming to 10 Minutes in Tinsel Town with Ms. Meliz. That's me. I'm Melissa Reyes. And today I have with me Mordant. Man.
That's it. That's it. You had it. You had it.
Mordant. Come on. And he's my friend Mordant, who I met at NMX this past year. He is amazing. He's a motivational coach, a self-help comedian. We'll get into what that is. A talk radio podcast host and author and a performer and actor. And I just can't wait to hear about all of the things that you've been up to lately. And tell me about yourself and about how I met you through podcasting with Success Freaks. So tell us about yourself, Mordant. Welcome to 10 Minutes in Tinsel Town. Mordant.
Right. Well,
Ricky Tiki-Tavi.
Thank you. Let me start off by saying my day job, I prance around on stage and do those things for my day job. And actually, I've just got finished working in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and now I'm going to be in the Twin Cities of Minnesota for that festival there.
I can hear you. I can't see you, but just it's not a good connection, Mordant. But that's okay. We'll wing it. The best thing about things not working out technically is that we get to do the interview now, and maybe we'll do it again, and it'll be better the next time. But let's just keep going.
I have a horrible connection that we've got.
Oh, it is a horrible connection. Now the audio sounds a little slow on both. Ramon, let's see who else is here. Ramon or Bruce or Jay, if you want to get in for a minute. So maybe I don't know if it's my connection or Mordant's, but Mordant is having a really hard time staying with us here. So are you on Chrome, my friend? Can you hear me? Are you on Chrome? Do you have Chrome? Oh, he's gone again. Well, it's kind of a bummer. When I have no music. I hear you just fine, just not... Okay, thank you. I'm glad you can hear me. I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep trying. More than likely, he is on Chrome. Well, Chrome is good. Chrome usually works really well. Sometimes it's a bandwidth problem, but he's a professional podcaster, so he knows what he's doing. You might want to switch to iPhone. iPhone works. I don't usually recommend it, but I know you could hang on that. He can hear me. Ramon, you see me? Do you see Mordant? I'm getting a call. I don't know who you are, but I'm on the I'm doing my show right now, so can you send me a text message? Thank you. Okay. I have no guest. He's on Chrome. But I want you to be on 10 Minutes in Tinsel Town. So I'll just talk. I'll tell you what my questions are. I know what I'll do. Well, you're maybe trying again, maybe rebooting, maybe sometimes we reset the browser and that helps. Let's see what we've got.
Can you hear me now?
I could hear you now.
Okay.
Quick, say something really remarkable.
Something really remarkable.
Wow, that's awesome.
How about that?
Tell us about yourself, Mordant.
Excellent. Okay, as I was trying to say before, first of all, let me explain. Yes, I did have a very bad connection never mind. As I was saying before, I do comedy shows at Renaissance festivals across the country for my day job. And so that takes me all over. I've just gotten finished with a festival in Kenosha, Wisconsin. I'm currently in the Twin Cities of Minnesota. But I met you in Las Vegas at New Media Expo because we were together going to have fun and talk about podcasting, things like that. I do a comedic motivational podcast called Success Freaks. And it's not so much us teaching from on high. Here's our teaching that you should learn. It's more like, here's the stuff we're going through, and here's how we're dealing with it. And, you know, the things that we've gleaned from what we've read, what we've experienced, we're kind of in the trenches with you, just kind of eking out our existence for a bigger, better, badder, more life. And we just help people level up their life, and that's what we're all about. All the while helping people laugh at themselves, at us. You know, every once in a while, you know, my co-host, Charles McFall, will throw me under the bus as an example, or I'll throw him under the bus. But it's so that we can help other people out, help others be awesome, which is our tagline. So
help others be awesome. How can you help me be awesome?
I think I can try by giving you the best interview I can give you. I think you're awesome already. You've introduced me to Blab. I've been playing around with Blab all day just so I could be ready for this with very, very bad internet. And suddenly it just switched. And so you're a miracle worker. I now have great internet.
Well, you know what? The angel saying when I met you, you have an energy, and I've said this so many times now, but you have an energy that just brightens up my life. And when I met you, it was at a poshy cocktails poolside party in Las Vegas with a lot of people who, frankly, at the very moment I felt, until I had that first drink, a little intimidated by. But you just walked right up to me, gave me hugs, gave me props, asked me my name, asked me what I did. You listened to my little plan, and I don't know, you were just really awesome. And there, you know, I met a lot of great people. That was a great place to meet people, but you're probably one of the greatest that I met. And thank you. Thank you for being here today. It's taken a while for me to work this out. So thank you.
You were very helpful for me too. It was this year's New Media Expo was a little slow in getting going for me, you know, and it wasn't until I started connecting with people again that it was like, oh, this is why I do this. This is why this is great. And you were one of those first people that I connected with. So you know, little love for you as well.
Someone take a screenshot. So, yeah, you know what? I wanted, let's see. I was with somebody who knew your show better than I did, and we listened to it on the way home. And what is your co-host's name?
Charles McFall.
Charles McFall. He was also there. And I didn't connect with him on eye level because he's really tall. Yeah. And I just, you know, and so I would talk to him, but I just didn't connect with him in the same way. And I'd love to have you both on the show sometime and just really get into talking about podcasting. But I just connected with you first. So that's all. Lucky you.
So you're saying I'm short is what you're saying. That we had connected eye level.
So ideal. You're the ideal height.
So I love what you're doing here. I love what you're doing with Blab. The fact that this is an interview show that you can pull in up to 3 other people and just have a good time. And the last speaker, what a great combination of information, entertainment, because she was entertaining, and then that really heavy thing at the very end, which is very, very true.
Yes.
I remember I was in North Carolina. I was watching a show that was put on by the Charlotte police in conjunction with parents. And what they did was they would send undercover cops. They filmed this. They would send undercover cops and the parents were watching in a van so they could see what was going on, to where the kids were playing, to try to see if they would lure them away. And, as soon as they started putting props into the kids' hands, the kids were like, he wasn't a stranger. He lost his puppy.
Right.
Every kid, every single one had that moment of, this is not something right. There's only one kid, I think he was at a school where the guy's like, well, and he looked like somebody who was coming to the school for a reason. He's, I have some sound equipment I need to get. Can you help me? And the kid took a step and stopped and said, I'm going to get an adult. But every kid, and that's the thing that I think you need to teach your children, is that if you have something that doesn't feel right, or if somebody tries to lure you away, somebody who you've never met, the whole thing with the cab, absolutely, I'm sure there were warning signs or flags went up in the kid's mind. I'm sure there were, but he didn't have the training to go, you know what, not tonight.
Right.
Let's do this.
Right. You know, I don't know if you know Tommy Sparrow, but he's got a podcast called and a radio show called Dudes of Disruption, and it airs on Blab just before mine. And they just started putting it on Blab. Anyway, tonight, whatever, they were talking about the sixth sense. Yeah. And I think that's what their point was getting to. I had to cut it off to get ready for this show, but I think they were really talking about that gut instinct. And when you have a sense about something, that you need to go with it. It's so true. It's so true. And it's so crushing when you don't listen to that and you go on and something bad happens.
Right. If you really think about it, that there's an echo.
My microphone just stopped working. My headphones just stopped working.
What the?
That was weird. Okay. It's not you. It's not you. It's me. Can you hear me? Hi, Simon. Welcome to 10 Minutes in Tinsel Town. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Rock Girl. Can you hear me okay? Give me a little thumbs up or something if you can hear me. Thanks for sticking in, Ramon. Thank you. Oh, great. So, he's back already, waiting to come on.
There it is. Now I got the better camera.
Okay, good. No, but my headphones aren't working, so I'm just going to take them off. I don't know why. Something happened. Something bad.
Talking about
time for new headphones. Yay!
Yay, shopping.
Oh, but now I can't hear you.
Well, what? Everybody can hear me, though. Everybody else can hear me.
Got a thumbs up from Ramon.
What were we talking?
Ramon, you can hear me? Yes. Follow each other. Be wonderful. Okay, we'll try again. Great. I'll do this little magic thing. Talk to me.
Can you hear me now?
No.
How about now?
You can hear me, but I can't hear anybody. Okay. I'm sorry. You know, I think it's the influx. They just have so many new people coming on. So can you wait right there? Try not to go away because otherwise we'll have to start over again. But you stay right there. I'm going out and I'll come right back in. Okay? Okay.
Okay.
You can talk.
Okay.
No, it doesn't have a mute. And I didn't touch anything.
Okay.
Wait. Maybe I did.
Did you touch something?
Say something.
Can you hear me now? This is probably driving everybody crazy.
No, it's being weird. Okay, I'll be right back.
Having a fun time in the chat, walking, shuck and jive, and sing and dance, so that you can be entertained and edified. If you have any questions for me while I'm here, I'm happy to answer them. If you don't have any questions for me, then I will just keep talking randomly about things that maybe she's coming back now. I don't have to accept her. Like she had to accept me to come in, is what I mean.
Oh.
Everybody's very quiet. So, nope, it's just me. It's just me. And this is what's fun. Well, I hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday night and that you guys are chasing and catching your dreams, whatever they may be, that you're finding ways to get out there and move beyond your own limitations and those limiting beliefs that you have. I know that I'm still trying to move beyond mine. You know, it's not all just because I have a podcast about being motivational and all that doesn't mean that I don't have problems as well. I'm loving Blab so far. Today's the only day that I've jumped on. It says I've been here for 41 days. It means that I set up an account 41 days ago. But this is my first time, and I was able to listen into everybody else's conversations. And there's a lot of interesting things being talked about. Some of it's just people talking. I'm like, why you call it blab? Because there's a lot of people. But it's not just that. There's a lot of people just blabbing at each other. So, yeah, that makes sense. I thank you, Rock Girl. I'm glad that you're happy to see me. I'm happy that I can be seen all over the country here. I don't know if Lisa Flowers is still here. If you are, thank you so much for that interview. It was a wonderful, wonderful thing that you shared with us. All the stuff was fantastic. And apparently hey, you are still here. Awesome sauce. Well, it looks like this is now Morning World. This is no longer 10 Minutes in Tinseltown. I'm going to usurp this show and make it my very own. So if anybody wants to talk about anything specifically, you can let me know. Lisa, if you'd like to come back on, I don't know how you can do that because I can't accept you. it's up to Melissa, who seems to be having a hard time. Yeah, first step in taking over the world. I need minions. That's what that. If I can give you any advice, whether you're starting something with social media, you're starting something with something else, get minions. Oh my God, they are so helpful in everything. Wait, they're back.
Don't try to take over my show, Mordant. No, you can come on and visit anytime you want. You have your own show.
And Lisa Flowers is back. Woohoo!
Hello.
Did you have a question, Lisa?
I did. I only clicked because he said if I could, if I could figure out how to get back on, and you accepted it. So I'm going to get off. But my question was, honestly, I couldn't remember how you said to ask a question. My question is, and this is a really stupid question, but what is the difference between Blab and doing a podcast? From what I can understand, it's a visual thing. Is that right?
Yeah, you can't pick your nose.
Okay. Is that all? Is that the difference? I mean, I know there are different functions that are probably, but I'm just curious what the difference is.
Well, Blab itself is a platform where and an app where you can have conversations. They don't necessarily need to be a podcast. Anybody can just go down and talk about anything, anytime. And a podcast is more of an episode or episodic event that is weekly or monthly or daily, and typically is audio, like on iTunes, kind of,
right,
where you can listen to it whenever you want. A recording.
Okay.
Out there as well, and you could actually record this and put this out as a podcast. Yeah. As long as somebody subscribes to you and what you have goes to them, it's a podcast. It's the RSS that makes it a podcast. So you could turn a video podcast easily. And this would be an awesome video podcast.
Yeah. So this is a podcast, or this is a podcast because I do it weekly. I record it live. We do a live show. I have a live audience, which I love. But then I take that recording and I post it on YouTube. I take a bit of the audio and post it on iTunes. It's actually 10 minutes on iTunes. So it's 10 minutes in Tinsel Town, the 10-minute version. And I just take the first 10 minutes of the show and do it. You'll each have your own episode. That's how it works out best for me. But yeah, so it's a video podcast mostly.
All right, very cool. Y'all carry on. I don't want to take over this part of the show. Y'all carry on. You're back live now. So just turn me off here, honey.
All right. Now you could always just click the X and go out yourself, but I love doing this. I don't know why. It's powerful. It's like, whoa, I'm in charge. I've got buttons I can press.
I want to mention that Rock Girl in the chat room says you need to wear pants when the video is on. And I want to say that's not true.
No. How do you even know if I have pants on right now? That's a big Blab thing that we talk about all the time. Like, you don't even have to wear pants. But my husband works from home. He doesn't do video. He does a lot of phone calls. And I just want everyone out there to know he's pretty much always wearing his shorts.
There you go. You could actually have the first pantsless podcast.
Pantless?
Pantsless. Pantsless? Pantless?
Pantsless? Bottomless?
Bottomless blog. I don't know.
All right.
What were we talking about before we went astray?
Yeah, moving on. You know what? You were talking about at first the Tortuga twins. Is that how you say it?
Yes. It's a Renaissance Festival stage act. We do audience participation comedy. At the Minnesota Festival, which is starting this weekend, we do 5 different stories at 5 different times, but each one is a different show. Ranging from Robin Hood to the Big Bad Wolf to a pirate show. We do our very last show of the day is a sword fighting and stupidity rated R show.
Ooh, fighting and why? Can you say bad words, or you talk about bad content or good content?
Yeah, adult situations, themes like that. Yeah. We say bad words. I mean, it's not. We actually looked up what does it really take to give an R rating, and you have to drop 2, not 1, 2 F-bombs. And since we don't usually drop 1, are we really an R rating? No, but it lets people know you're in for a ride here. If you show up and all are welcome, you can bring your kids.
Don't bring the kids.
If you've made good parenting choices already, chances are stuff's going over their head.
Yeah.
And often people do bring kids, and we use them in the beginning of the show to let people know what kind of show it is.
Like, see those kids? Those aren't real. They're not.
Balance out my life. I do motivation stuff so that I can go to heaven.
Is that like doing yoga and cardio kickboxing to balance it out, kind of? Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. So, how did you get into the podcasting world? And that's your night job, or I guess your sidekick, right? Your side.
Yeah, my day job is the Tortuga Twins thing. Yeah, that's my bread and butter job. My dream job is the Success Freaks thing. Charles McFall, who was a podcaster for many years, I think since 2004 or 2006, I started getting into the self-helpy stuff as I got more involved with law of attraction and started learning more, just wanting to share my experience. And I began doing video blogs. He interviewed the Tortuga Twins for one of his shows and then saw what I was doing and said, you should do a podcast. And he threw Gary Vaynerchuk's book, Crush It, at me, which is how to branding your passion online. It's great. If you can pick it up in the audio version, it's on audible.com. Pick that up and listen to it. It's still, although it's many years old now, it's still a lot of the stuff is very true.
His name comes up in almost every blab I watch. Everybody here is a huge fan of Gary.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I like about him is he says, follow your DNA. If you don't like to write, don't do a blog. If you're uncomfortable in front of the camera, don't do video stuff. Follow your DNA, but share whatever your passion is. Are you going to make a ton of money out of it? Maybe, but probably not. But who cares? Because you're doing what you love. And you're sharing your passion, you're sharing with others, and you're being social. It's the social behind social media. A lot of times we use this as a buffer. So we don't have to see real life and real people, and you can say whatever we want. But if you can maintain that social ability, then do that. And that's what I'm saying about that.
That's all you have to say about that.
That's my rant. That's rant about that.
And how did it become motivational and coaching?
Well, I really liked helping, I don't know. I like helping other people, and it helps me as well, because I'm reading, it forces me to read all this stuff and continue to work on myself. So I'm just kind of sharing knowledge. It's, I could talk about geek stuff because I like geek stuff. I could talk about Renaissance stuff because that's my job and what I do. But I really love the motivational stuff. I really like how it touches people. Mm-hmm. And you don't always see it, but once in a while, someone will come up to you and say, thank you. Yeah. And you sure that's going to make you feel good. It's going to build your ego and stuff like that. But also, whether you need it or not, because really you don't need it and you shouldn't need it, but whether you need it or not, it validates you as a human being. It validates you as a contributing member to society in a positive way. Though you don't really need that or shouldn't need it, you know what? It makes me feel good. That's why I do it.
Makes you feel good. You're doing something for someone else. You're helping people. You're helping them be awesome.
Yeah. Yes. And if you want to stop by and listen to me flop and twitch, whether it's live, because we do our show semi-live, we broadcast every Tuesday at 9:30, or is it 10:30 Eastern time on
AM.
AM. blogtalkradio.com/successfreaks. And you can listen to us live there, or just go to successfreaks.com and you can listen, you can find the podcast or through iTunes.
I'm going to put your links up on the blog, on my blog, so anybody can come in and find out how to find you and listen to your really awesome Success Freaks is great. It really is. I love the rapport that you have with each other and just excellent advice.
It's a lot of fun. Sometimes it's argument. It's interesting to listen to motivational guys argue. We'll have different takes. Well, I don't think that's right. And it's very funny. We actually wrote a book together, and we'd like to offer it to your viewers now for free. So I don't know when you want me to pimp that out, but
sure. Well, we have Ramon. He's probably in the he might be interested. We only have a few people here right now. I don't know where everybody went to have dinner. I guess they left without us. But Sherry Lynn's here. Ramon is here. He's one of my best. He's one of my best friends who comes and watches all my shows. And let's see, who's this other person here? Angie Rock Girl. So if you want to give your book out or make them answer a question or something to win a book, I don't know how many books you want to give.
I talked to Charles, and we just want to give it away. So if you just go to successfreaks.com/free book. Okay. You can do that until next Tuesday, and it's free, and you get the PDF and give it a look. It is Success Freaks Guide to Dream Hunting.
successfreaks.com/free book. All right. I'm going.
And that'll be live till next Tuesday.
That sounds pretty good. So when you're not doing your acting in the with the Tortuga Twins and touring and life coaching and comedic podcasting, what do you like to do for fun?
Yeah. My downtime, of which there's almost none. I like to keep healthy, so I like to go to the gym. I love on-camera acting. I really, really do. And there are times, and now when I would go to Arizona, actually have an acting coach there that I've befriended and with their family. And so I would go to acting classes there. But now that we're working in the Atlanta area and it's blowing up as far as all of that, any chance I get to do something like that, I don't know that I'm great at it, but it's just fun. I like there's almost cathartic way of doing it, because when you're on camera, you can't act. You can't act like you're scared. You can't act like you're sad. You can't act like you're happy, because it looks like overacting.
Right.
You get on stage and you need to throw that energy to the back of your crowd. Then, yeah, of course you need to overact. But because the camera's right here and seeing every little twitch, you have to actually feel it. So, and that's also something that happens, is that all the mirror neurons that we have in our body, when somebody raises a glass, things fire in their brain. But if you see somebody raise a glass, those same places fire in your brain. So when you see somebody have an emotion, those places are firing in your brain as well. We've all fallen in love. If you've seen movies, we've all been the superhero. We've all been James Bond. We've all been Hannibal Lecter, so it has to be real. And that's why when you look at somebody and you don't like their acting abilities, because they're not real, they're acting versus experiencing it. That's what I like to do for fun.
That's what you like to do for fun. But what about playing Xbox?
Oh my God. Yes, I play Xbox. Not that I'd like to say not that often, but I play just a couple of games. I am a gamer. I'll play Borderlands, Borderlands 2, or I'll play. And do you know any of these games? I might just say no.
But you know what? Someday someone might watch the video and they'll know, and they're going to learn some insight about you that no one else knows. So tell us.
Everybody knows this because we talk about it on our show. I also play World of Tanks, which nobody plays. Those few of us that are like, hidden under a rock going, come play with us. And those are the two that are, if I do anything, I'm doing that. But there's so much involved with keeping the Tortuga Twins machine going and Success Freaks and everything else.
Right.
And I have a girlfriend, so she keeps me, when I'm not working, she's like, all right, we're going to spend time together. And I'm like, yes, ma'am, we are.
That's fantastic. That's good. You should listen to her. Go out.
She keeps me grounded unless I'm bad, and then she just grounds me.
She grounds you? Yeah. She keeps you grounded, or which? Or both?
Yeah, a little both.
Get you in trouble? So, Morten, what do you like best about podcasting? What do you like about it?
I like being able to touch people, to reach people. The fact that I can talk for a living and just go on my little rants and have people go, wow, that's great. I like what you say. And connecting with people. Who are you looking at?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I like, just connecting with people and doing that. So being able to go to New Media Expo, it almost felt like going home. It's like, wow, my people.
Yes, I felt that way too.
You go to parties and you're like, oh, I don't really fit in. But you go to the New Media Expo party and you're like, I can talk to anybody here.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that way too. I'm going to be speaking, or I'm going to be on a panel at the Entertainment New Media Network conference here in Hollywood. And I'm going to be speaking on a panel about video blogging. So I'm really excited about that. And I feel that way when I'm with that group of people. Like, these are my people, I just.
And all the nerdy things all the new little things that are coming out, we there's football scores and I don't know much about that, or all these little techie things over here, I don't know anything about that. But you talk to me about podcasting, or you talk to me about social media, Blab, what's that? And then being able to talk to friends, and if they know something about, there's that deeper connection. If they have that blank look on your face, you're like, sorry, you just don't know.
Yeah It's so true. I completely understand. And so that's it's really about being yourself. So I think that what you're saying is you love podcasting because you can just truly be yourself and it feels comfortable and you feel like you're at home and
you have to be yourself. You have to be transparent, because if you're trying to be somebody else, that's going to last you for how many episodes? Are you going to be able to keep that up for? We're up to 200 and we just did our 215th today.
Wow.
You can be yourself. You can be transparent. If you can, like Cromwell said, warts and all. Here's the bad stuff too. I did a vlog one time called "I Have a Wicked Temper," because I had gotten into it was backstage and I got into a fight with my two cohorts, and just very, very angry, and we were yelling at you like we do. You're yelling at each other. They left, and another act was nearby, and they came up and they said, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I vlogged about it. At the time, I was doing a vlog a day, and I didn't throw them under the bus. It was myself. I took it personally what was being said, so I lost my cool, which isn't cool. But what's great about podcasting and vlogging is if you can keep that transparency, people will connect with you more. If you're always perfect all the time, who wants to hang out with you? Who wants to know? You're just going to wind up making people feel bad. But if you're like, I'm just like you, and here's how I succeed in spite of myself. And therefore, here's how you can succeed in spite of yourself. So you show people the possibility of it. Oh, if you can do that, and you're kind of a Yahoo, I see you do this online. You're just a kind of a dork like me. If you can do that, then I can do that. So you have to be transparent. You have to be yourself. Right. It's more fun that way.
I heard a quote that at another conference I was at Connect Her in San Diego, and the speaker, and I'm going to have to go and check her name because I can't remember her name, but she said that she always tells herself, stupider people than me can do this. If stupider people than me can do this, I can do this. Okay, right. So she doesn't know the English language that well, but it made sense that this is what she tells herself. Other people can do this. I can do this. And it's just, it's a little bit about having some self-confidence, but it builds on itself. Once you start, you like it and you do it more and you do it again and you become really good at it. And that's the ticket. Yeah,
for sure. There's I was listening to the Nerdist podcast, and he was interviewing Paul Williams, the singer from the 70s. Yes. Paul Williams and Tracy Jackson. Tracy Jackson wrote Confessions of a Shopaholic, and they were talking about their book about affirmations. I can't remember the name of the book. But what was great at the podcast, they were just normal people, and they're cussing back and forth, but being motivational. So I was like, this is hilarious. So I picked up the book. It wasn't like that, and I was kind of disappointed. But anyways, there was one affirmation. I think it's, I don't know how to do this, but something inside me does.
Something inside me does. Yes.
And I love that. Another one was something has to change here, and it's probably me.
Yeah.
So if you can find their book, I listen to the audio version. You can find it on Audible. Not a sponsor.
So tell me about I Like You Most Days. Are you still doing that?
Yes. And this is the brainchild of my girlfriend, Christy. She came up and said, I want to do a podcast with you. And she came up with the title, I Like You Most Days, which is awesome. I love you all the time, but I like you most days. Right now, it's still just trying to find its legs. We've done a couple of, we did one show on body image, which was pretty cool. We did one show on jealousy that we did with another couple, and they were friends of ours, and just goofy fun. There was a lot of wine being slung around that time, but it's a fun show, and I'm hoping that it gets its legs and keeps going. We're trying to do it every other week, although sometimes it stretches. Is it also on Blog Talk Radio, or what's your platform for that one? It's a podcast. It's a podcast? We record it and send it to our producer, Mike, and producer Mike makes it wonderful, takes all the ums and ahs and dead air out, and it sounds great. I listened to it and went, that's great. I'm my own producer, Mike. Yeah, minions. If you're going to take over the world, you need minions. I tried. They revolted. All right. So, you know what? Building a team, sometimes, it takes a lot of work, but we're getting there. And level up coaching. Yes. Level up coaching. Level up your life. Level up your life. because of all the nerd stuff we do, you should level up your life. And in fact, you look at everything coming at you. You can either say, "Oh, look, I have bad luck," or "God's out to get me," or these, I'm just having a rough day all the time. Or you can look at everything and think to yourself, "These are opportunities for me to grow." Failure. I think failure has gotten a bad rap, but it's actually it's a stepping stone on the way to success. It's a necessary, and I won't even call it evil. Because it's going to help you level up your life. Anybody who's played video games knows that when you fight the monsters level you up so that you can go to different places. The same thing in life. If you have something that you're going through that's really, really hard, eventually you're going to overcome it. And then you'll be on that plateau for a little while. And as you start to get bored, you're either going to find positive drama or negative drama. If people are bored in work or their life, they're gonna, they'll turn to drinking, drugs, and all that kind of stuff, or here, let me cheat on my wife, and well, my life will be certainly exciting then, or you find positive drama. Well, how can I level up my life? What's going to challenge me? Because either way, we're looking for challenges. I mean, everybody, if you play a game, whether it could be crosswords, it could do, anything, Candy Crush. We're all looking for some kind of challenge, and the same is true in your life. Choose positive drama. Choose the positive challenge. That way you're not going to you're going to at least be leveling up towards something that's going to benefit you versus that momentary excitement of drug abuse or anything else that you've done.
Do you want to talk about why you got into that?
Which part? The drug abuse or the what?
I'm making a wild assumption that based on the experiences you've had in your life, you've come to this point where you can talk about leveling up and balancing. So,
well, yeah, I mean, I've gone through my own stuff. I'm now clean and sober 11 and a half years. I'm the most interesting thing that you find out once you sober up is like, oh man, I'm still a jackass sometimes. You have to come to terms with that. And once you do that, you can start working on yourself. And even today, when the episode today, I had said something in a previous episode where a very good friend of mine took umbrage of it, and she wrote this long Facebook post, and it was in fun, but we talked about that today, Charles and I, and about how I'm somewhat, and the term was, you get sucked once in a while, suck it up, buttercup. And it's like, that's very flippant and biting. And I'm like, yes, it is.
She didn't like it.
Didn't like the term. She at least change it to level up buttercup or something like that. And I gave her that. I'm like, you're right. It is. I don't know.
Really a thing girls say. I have sons, so suck it up is something we say a lot. But yeah, I get it. But it's true. We have to suck it up.
Yeah, well, and I can never remember it's this very prolific writer, and they asked her how she's done all these books, and I can never remember names. And I really need to, because I quote this all the time. How have you written so many books? And she goes, it's just one thing, ass in chair. That's it. You sit down, you do the work. Ass in chair.
Ass in chair.
Butt in the chair, and you do the work.
Yes.
I've got things that I'm
Laura Roberts. Oh my God. She said that?
That is Laura Roberts.
Wow.
Thank you. I've got projects that I'm working on that I'm dragging my feet on. And the only way I'm going to move forward is, sure. And I'm looking at, what am I holding myself back? Is it a fear of success? Do I need to work on this thing? Do I need to work on that? Do I need to clean myself? I'm working on all that. But eventually it's going to be ass and chair. Eventually it's going to be suck it up, move forward. Or, I can figure out why, but until I do the work, I'm still stuck over here.
Right.
So.
Right.
But I don't need to be ass flippant about it. So.
Well, I think that's kind of like what Lisa was saying about having a focus on one thing, choosing that one thing that you can do and, pushing forward, doing it. Awesome. Level up your life. Ask and share. Oh my gosh. Hi, Mare. It's a friend of mine, Mare. She's awesome.
Mare 331. Much better than Mare 330.
Oh, yeah. So thank you for coming, Mare. And Tommy Spiro's here. Thank you, Tommy. It's 7:34. We're going to I'm going to take a quick little break and say hi to these people. I have a couple more questions for you, Mordant. And then we'll open it up and people can jump on with us and we can have a discussion till 8 o'clock. How's that sound?
Fantastic.
Fantastic. So we've got Mare. She is in New York, right, Mare? She's in New York. And we've got Tommy. He's in New York. What are you guys doing up so late? I guess it's not that late. It's a perfect time to jump on Blab and relax and listen. And we have Ramon and Rocket Girl, and her name is Angie. That's cool. And of course, we have Mordant and Lisa. And so it is early, and she's in Queens, and oh my gosh, they're going to be friends forever. That's awesome. I love it when people meet online, especially when they're both friends of mine. Tommy, meet Mirror, Tommy. Okay, everybody's met. But Tommy, do you know Mordant, Mahan? Your name, I just want to chew it up.
Well, I'll just call you Reyes.
Yes, that's good. That's fine. You could do that. Even though Reyes, I get Reyes a lot. Reyes. Reyes. My initials, if you don't really look at it really fast, it's Mr. Eyes.
Well, it's not fair because I've actually got very many names. Our Mordant mom comes from my I met my birth mother, and she is British of Irish descent. And I asked her, what would you have named me? And she said, I would have named you after her dead brother, John Edward Anthony Noel Mordant Mon. Please do something with the name. So I took Mordant Mon because I like the way it fit and everything. And R is from my first name, which is Ricky, R-I-K-I. And it's really who I am at the core of my being. So there's that. I have other names too. So just let's move on. When you said Ricky Tikki Tavi, you kind of freaked me out because when people try to spell my name, I say, well, because they do it with 2 Ks. I'm like, no, 2 Ks is a mongoose. And my eldest brother heard me say it. And he goes, well, actually, I named you for the mongoose. I'm like, no.
Oh, you were named.
Yeah, I thought he was really cool. I'm like, no.
Ricky Tikki Tavi is what you were named for? No. Yes? Yeah. I thought it was with 1 K, Ricky Tikki Tavi.
It is. So when I correct people, you heard me correcting somebody. And but Mordant works. You can just call me Mordant.
Mordant. I like Mordant. I like our Mordant Mon. I get stuck there. But I was on your website today, and I saw there's one spot where you've got Ricky in the caption with a picture, R-I-K-I, and then my brain just snapped and said, Ricky Tikki Tavi. So what, it was a clue. It was an Easter egg. Yeah.
I don't hide from it. I don't hide, I don't want to keep, don't know. You can't hear about this part. And you can't, the Success Freaks people can't meet the Tortuga Twins people because then it's like, I don't care.
I know. I have a really, Melissa Reyes, and my maiden name is Lopez, and Melissa Lopez. There are so many that I have to always give my birth date. I always have to distinguish myself some way, and that's why I came up with Ms. Meliz. But I just want to acknowledge that we've got Mia Voss. Thank you, Mia, for coming in. She's an awesome podcaster too, and has done a lot of videos. And thank you for being here. I'm really glad. And meet Mordant Mon. Why can't I say it? Every show I have a trouble with somebody's name. So if your name was Tommy Spiro, I would probably say it wrong. I'd be like, tell me, how you doing? I just can't get it right. It's just the thing I do, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, well, we're here. And so more people are coming in, which means something probably just ended. So that's really exciting. I love it when more people come in. And thank you for being here. And this is 10 Minutes in Tinsel Town. We are talking with Mordant Mon, and it's about level up your life. And I'm going to ask him this really neat question right now, right here. Ready?
I have pants on, yes.
Okay. Define nerdtastic.
Oh, come on, nerdtastic. When I grew up with Happy Days and a nerd, and to me that's where nerd comes from. I don't think it was ever penned before that. So so
I'm never gonna know.
You can't hear me?
No.
What? Why?
Can everybody else hear him?
Can everybody else hear me?
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So, it's me. I'm going to do the thing again. I'll be right back. I'm going to refresh.
Okay. So Nerdtastic, she can listen to it on the playback. It just comes from that back then when geeks started becoming in vogue with all the, geek stuff. It's just a fun way to put things together. Nerdtastic. It's like fantastic nerds, So if it has something to do with geeking or nerding and it's awesome, then it's Nerdtastic, and that's what it is. So there's also, when you have things that don't work on your computer and you're so verklempt and the problems with Windows 10, that's Nerd World Problems.
Ah, Nerd World Problems. I like that. That's classic. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
I hear you fine.
I've been able to hear you this whole time, even when in the beginning when
you could always hear me.
Yeah, I could always hear you. It's kind of weird as a 3-year-old.
Speaking to you. All right. So I got the tail end of Nerdtastic. I think I knew what it was. I really did. And I have written about being fantabulous, which is kind of like fantastic and fabulous together. Fantabulous. Right. And so, I like putting words together like that. And I like that Nerdtastic is fantastic and being nerdy is fantastic. I have lived with a household full of wonderfully smart, fascinating, talented nerds who are self-proclaimed, and they love it. And Nerd World Problems, that's great. What other words do you have?
Let me ask you a question. Nobody ever asks you anything. Let me ask you a question. How do you skew nerdy? What's your nerdy thing that people don't know about?
What's my nerdy thing that people don't know about? Yeah, I'm so cool. I don't know any. No, let me think. It's my nerdy
superhero movies. Do you like the TV show iZombie? Are you just Game of Thrones?
Never seen it. Never heard of the zombie thing. We all have one. Tommy says, "Way to turn the tape." I know. I'm like in the hot seat, going, what nerdy thing do I do? No, keep guessing. That's kind of fun. I want to know what nerdy things are.
I don't want podcasting because we're here, but it's honestly podcasting is it. So
you know what? I think podcasting is it. And when I started, and Mia might agree with this, there are so many women who are doing this on Blab, but the whole technical podcasting thing, they're not that many women. I'm in a group of women on Facebook, but really I don't have any friends who do this. It's just my nerdy thing. Yeah.
So you've never read the Harry Potter books?
With my kids, but not all the way through.
It wasn't your thing.
Saw the movies.
It's different. So different. Oh my goodness. Please.
I did like The Hobbit. Read it more than once.
Oh, the book. Okay.
The book.
There you go.
Yeah. I even tried to do a book club just on The Hobbit. So maybe that was a little nerdy.
Yeah.
I like one, my precious. Okay. But anyway, stuff like that.
I recently heard about a family that their child, the child has a pacifier, and they started calling it Precious. So when the kid was asking for, "Where's my precious? Where's my precious?"
My precious. Yeah, there's little things like that. Also, in my family, and I just thought everybody did this, but we're really into like musical show tunes and stuff, and going to musicals and singing, like Oklahoma. Doesn't everybody do that? No.
In Oklahoma?
Sing OKLAHOMA, Oklahoma.
I know the song.
Or the Candyman can. And I don't really sing. I just kind of sing along.
Do you ever do karaoke?
Yes. Okay.
That's not nerdy, but it's
not nerdy. And the one karaoke song that I can rock totally is the Cranberries' Zombie.
Oh, really?
I can totally do that song. Okay. Oh my gosh, Mia. Well, thank you for stopping by. You're awesome. Thank you. I'll stop in on your next show when I can. She's awesome. You got to check her out. The Mia Connect, the Mia on Twitter. She's fantastic. I have, because of Mia. Here's a little known fact about me. I've never done this before, but I'll do it for Mia. I have my own little tiara. Okay, so when I first started podcasting, before I ever even went on air, I watched and tried to see what people were doing, what it was all about. And Mia used the the little floating tiara on Google Hangout. And I just thought that was the cutest thing ever. And I'm like, I'm going to have my tiara there to remind me that, you know, people have come here before me and led the way, and a girl power kind of thing. So
I don't have a tiara or a guy thing. And unfortunately, the closest thing in my hand is the Minions fart flash.
I know a Buddha Charlie who would love that. I don't know where he is. That's cute. Okay. So, okay, we have somebody come in asking about Level Up Your Life. So why didn't you tell him? Tell Jonathan Knockin about Level Up Your Life. And I'm going to look at my next question.
All right, Level Up Your Life. It's basically, you're going through a lot of things, a lot of trials and tribulations in your life. We all have difficulties. It's all about perception. You can choose to look at them a certain way. You can choose to look at it like the world is against you, or you have bad luck. You can't do anything right. You can choose to look at it that way, or you can look at it as an opportunity. An opportunity for you to grow, because failure does a few things. It shines a light on those things, those weak points in your armor, those chinks in your armor that you need to work on. It helps guide you. You know, fire hot, no touch. Stove hot, no touch. Hot person crazy, no touch. You know, it does all these things for you if you allow it. It'll help grow you and get you to success. In fact, if you go straight to success without any failure, you're not going to be emotionally enabled to deal with problems in your life. If all of a sudden you go from high school star to superstar, then when you're really in the big leagues and the game is on the line and you're tanking, you won't know how to deal with that failure. You need to learn how to deal with failure. You need to have failure in your life.
That is so true. Yeah.
There was an actress, and I can't remember her name, but she was at Juilliard, and it was too much for her. She goes, I'm gonna quit. I'm done. And her guidance counselor took her aside and he goes, listen, fail here. You're supposed to fail here. You're supposed to make your mistakes. You're supposed to make the dumb mistakes so that when the big part's on the line, you know better. And when you're in the middle of it all, you know how to deal with it. When I first started doing podcasting, we were doing a live show, and we would have bad bandwidth, and the whole thing would shut down, and we had to learn how to fix it.
God, I thought that only happened to me.
No, it doesn't. And when you're working with somebody else and suddenly they're gone and you're faced with doing a show all by yourself, there's a whole lot of suck in that. But you do it enough times that you can calm down. And when you calm down, you're able to see all the other opportunities. I'll say, well, maybe if I do this, or maybe if I fix this, and you can get your person back. Mm-hmm. So if you're dealing with hard things in your life, you're stuck in fight or flight. You're going to fight this thing or you're going to run away. But when you can relax and you can be calm, all of a sudden your peripheral vision opens up and you go, oh, wait, I have these other opportunities of things I can do. You relax a lot. I'm hyperactive. So when I'm stressed, all the ideas go out of my head. When I calm down, I can get them again. So if you fail enough times, suddenly, because you're exposed to it enough, even in the midst of failure, you're able to deal with it. So leveling up your life is you're dealing with all these hardships, and it helps make you stronger. So you start off being, I think it was John, the guy that wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul. And because I'm trying to think about it now, the name just went out of my head.
The guy that wrote what? Chicken Soup for the Soul?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyways, he talks about, when you first start doing things, you're a third level person, and all of a sudden this fifth level problem comes in, kicks your butt.
Right.
Well, you work on it, and you achieve, and later on you become a fifth level person. That same problem, fifth level problem, comes at you, but it's not as hard because you're fifth level. So you work on it, and you defeat it, and you achieve it, and you move on. And eventually you're like an eighth or a ninth level person. That fifth level problem comes, and you look at it, and you're like, it's no big deal. And you just brush it aside. The problem hasn't changed. You have. And that's why you're leveling. Jack Canfield. Thank you, Rock Girl.
Thank you.
That's why, not John.
Look it up.
So that's why you want to level up your life. And you will reach, you'll be like, oh, I'm struggling. And you'll reach a plateau, and you'll stay there for a while. Before you get bored, you'll find something else, and you begin working on yourself again. So they've done a study, and they found that the only difference between positive people and negative people, it's not the amount of issues you deal with. We all have the same amount of issues, the same amount of poo-poo that we're dealing with. It's how you look at it. If you look at it like it's an opportunity for you to grow or to learn something, or there's something that you need to do, Why do I keep having flat tires? The universe is out to get me. No, the universe is saying you have bald tires. Change your tires before there's a real problem.
A real story. I have a friend who told me recently that she's been rear-ended 4 times. And isn't that terrible? And I'm thinking, do you think maybe you're not driving? There's something going on. And so it's like a really good analogy for life, because you keep making those same mistakes again and again, and you're not learning from it or changing. Something's, there's a disconnect. Am I right? Is that kind of where you're going?
Absolutely. The one common denominator in that story is her. I'm wondering what she's doing, how she's driving kind of funky.
She's not paying attention. Is she,
Well, if she was, is she rear-ending somebody, or she's getting rear-ended?
She's getting rear-ended.
So there's something with her driving style that's happening.
Yeah. But it makes me worry about, life in general. If you were, whatever, breakup after breakup, or lose your job and lose your job and lose your job, or, quit school and you just never finish anything. There's something that you need to find out to level up. I totally get that.
It might be also when you talk about breakup after breakup after breakup, you've talked to people who are like, why do I keep dating these same type of people? Why do I keep finding alcoholic?
And
it could be just as simple as you grew up that way. That's what love is to you. And you're subconsciously looking for, a vibration level of somebody who matches that, to fit that divot that, mommy and daddy carved out of your heart. So that, if that's what's going on, then at the very least, these are little clues about what you need to work on. Again, failure, shining a light on that thing that you need to work on, and you have the opportunity to work on it. You don't have to be a victim of it anymore. You can choose to take it on. So, Brittany Metz.
Hi, Brittany. Serious technical audio problems. I keep having to go out and come back in again because the audio goes out, and I just wanted to see if that was a regular problem or if that's something just happening in my room. And thank you for coming so quickly. Brittany works with Blab.
Hey.
Yeah. So if you were able to hear me, also I'd love for you to meet my guest tonight. His name is R. Mordant Mann. He's awesome on. Ay. Let me try it again. I was so sure. I was on the roll.
Call me Mordant, or just hey you. This guy next to me.
R. Mordant Mann. I'm not sure what that might be. It might be worth force quitting Chrome if possible, but I don't want to ruin your broadcast. Oh, we have about 10 minutes, so we're going to not do that. But I'm going to do that before I come in again because something is weird. I've had to go out multiple times, and my guests have had problems too. And I actually, I thought at first it was my headphones that stopped working, but it's just bad. So thanks for coming anyway. It's like having a guardian angel. You could be like, just type the name in and bam, they're here.
I tried to catch one of her shows earlier today, but by the time I got there, it was done, and I was.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's got some great shows. And you know what? I'm glad to connect you anyway because Brittany is an improv actress person. She's really creative and amazing. And our Mordant is one of the Tortugo twins. He is the Tortugo twins.
There's 3 of us.
There's 3 twins. Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of them, but he's a huge improv and comedic actor. Huge.
Yeah, but short. Only just like 5'9".
We meet eye to eye.
We do. I think Charles is like 6'7".
I know.
He is. He's like Lincoln tall.
I have a friend who's 6'7", and he's engaged to someone who's 5 feet. They're so neat.
Interesting.
So since Brittany's here and we have a couple minutes, tell us again about, I was going to ask you about overcoming fear, but we totally kind of went there, overcoming, embracing fear to be successful, which is something else that you talk about. But my deep question for you, because I just noticed the time, is what do you stand for and what will be your legacy? So I know that might not have to do with acting and improv, but think about it. What will be your legacy?
I don't know. there's so many things that I think Tortuga Twins will be a legacy because that's, I've helped people laugh for so long. And I really didn't see it as a service until when 9/11 happened. And it had happened in the middle of the week. So by the weekend, and I was in the Twin Cities again, we were like, do we say anything about it? We said, no, let's just do our jobs. And so many people came up afterwards and were just like, thank you for giving us, a break from all of this. And it's like, wow, we really do serve a purpose here in letting people laugh, letting them just have a little bit of escape. So there's that. And I think with Success Freaks as well, that's something that it doesn't only help others be awesome. It also helps myself, because it's helping me keep on the straight and narrow and not, I don't have to be perfect. Certainly I'm not, I can strive for perfection and hit excellence, which was a quote that I saw today.
Strive for perfection.
You'll hit excellence.
Awesome. And it's Tortuga Twins.
Yep,
I'm on a low blood sugar deal right now. Anyway, wow. So you're that's it. You're living it. You are a total superstar because you set an example of someone who really is passionate about a lot of different things, and you do well at those things, and you share it with others and help to make them be, like you said, be awesome. But you really make people feel better about themselves. And I think that's really a unique talent and gift. So thank you for being here on 10 Minutes in Tinsel Town.
I think you're a rock star as well. Yeah, I think you're a rock star as well. And something that people don't realize is that we all have our own doubts. I don't always feel that way. So if you're moving towards something, if you're striving towards something, you're like, well, I don't feel like a rock star. You know what? Neither do we. All the time. There are moments where it's great, and yes, I actually feel it. But if you're in doubt, most of the great people are. I've talked to people who are doing things that I'm like, I can't wait to be able to do that. And they're like, I'm waiting for the next big thing. I kind of don't feel like I'm going anywhere in my life. But you're there where I want to go.
Right.
So we're all rock stars. If you have any doubts about yourself, we all have doubts. If you're ever scared about moving forward with your life and leveling up your life, we're all scared. There is no courage without fear. Courage is being able to move forward in spite of the fear that you are going to still feel. Right. Because if you have no fear, then you're just doing your job. Then it's no big deal.
Wow. Mad, awesome words from our Mordant Mon. And I'm so happy you're here. I love that. There is no courage without fear. Wow. So, would anybody like to come on? I'm going to end I'll leave it recording. I can always edit it. But if anybody wants to come in and join us in the little discussion, and I'm going to tell you who's coming up next week. And if Lisa wants to join or anybody here, Hermine, I'd love for you to come in if you'd like. Here she is. Hermine with Persona Wired. And yes, look at you, look gorgeous, my friend. Look how pretty you look.
I am in my car tonight because I am waiting for someone who's late, and we're supposed to go out drinking. So I'm really excited. But I hardly ever go out.
Well, congratulations for getting out into your car.
Into my car, exactly.
The lighting is actually really good.
You framed the shot perfectly. I don't know what that car is behind you, but it looks really nice. You look kind of fancy.
Yeah, right. The one behind me. Yeah. So I wanted to say this is my first time listening to 10 Minutes in Tinsel Town, and I am so disappointed I missed all the other episodes, and I am going back tomorrow while I clean my house and will be tuning in. This was dynamite.
Really?
So, Melissa, I have to give you kudos. Yeah, because I kept meaning to watch, and then it was like, I'll catch the back end of it. It's the best thing going on right now on Blab.
Wow. That means so much to me because Hermine, she's in a lot of Blabs and watches and hosts a lot. So I really appreciate that. And I know that you really understand the meaning of having a worthwhile discussion. And I like to really make it meaty. I like the content to be really chock full of goodness. And I think it's important now and then to sit back and watch and listen and hear what these amazing people have to say. So thank you.
Yeah. So I'm glad you didn't kill the recording. Do not cut me out, because I don't often get a chance to say great things. And I didn't get your name,
Mordant Mon.
Okay. Just want to tell you that the whole idea of leveling up and the examples you were giving, I've never heard anything like that before. I think that's very insightful. More people need to hear about it because, gosh, it is so true.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and follow you once I can figure out how to do it on a mobile. I'm hardly ever on mobile, but I wanted to drop in and say that.
I just followed you. You can follow me that way. Can you pronounce your name for me, please?
It's Ermine.
Ermine. Okay, perfect.
Ermine is persona wired on Twitter, and Mordant Mon is Mordant World on Twitter, and he's on the he has a podcast called Success Freaks, and it's really, really good. So check that out.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. That sounds really awesome.
And I think you missed Lisa Flowers. So I'm going to let her in now too. Ermine, you're going to love Lisa. She's amazing.
Hi,
she
Lisa.
teaches social media strategy.
Okay,
hey,
great.
Everybody. You guys, this was my very first time ever on Blab, and Melissa, I am so impressed. So impressed with you. And I loved our partner in crime here tonight and all of his insight, and then everybody else that was joining us on the right. So thank you guys for tonight and for allowing me to be a part of this. And I will see you guys soon online somewhere.
Thank you. You're welcome to come back every Tuesday night, 6 to 8 p.m. It's 10 Minutes in Tinsel Town right here on blab.in. I'm so glad to have had you with me, Lisa and Mordant and Hermine. Thank you for coming on, and everybody in the room. I want to let you know that next week, August 25th, I have Roma Keppertal, and she is the author of The Perfect Parent. It's an excellent book, but not just on parenting. It's on building relationships, and she has a great message. She's the CEO of Tools of Growth, and you can find her at Tools of Growth on Twitter. And since it's my 1-year anniversary of 10 Minutes in Tinsel Town, next Tuesday, all the guests from my first season, which I'm calling the first season, my first go round, are going to be popping in and out and saying hello. And so they're my blogger friends. They're whoever I could get to let me interview them. They're, people I know from Facebook. And I have a secret Facebook group. Lisa's in it, Mordant's in it. And it's for people who've been on my show. If they'll know what this means. If you filled out the form, you could be in the secret Facebook group, and we chat all the time, and they encourage me on what to do next. And so all of those peeps have said that they come on next week, and they've not been on Blab because they were on Spreecast and Skype and all the different things I've tried. So this is going to be their first experience with Blab. It'll be really fun. That said, any last comments before I end this? It's 8:00. I like to end on time. So
thank you. Thank you so much. This has been a joy. And for introducing me to all the people you've introduced me to. And it's every time I get together with you, I have a great time. So let's do it again soon.
Thanks, y'all. Have a good night. Thanks, Melissa.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. We'll talk again. It went by too fast. I look forward to seeing you. And actually, can I just mention a little shout out to, what is it? Management Strategies Group? Is that what it's called? Marketing Strategies Group?
The Facebook group, Marketing Strategies Group. Yes.
Marketing. I'm in the Marketing Strategies Facebook group with Lisa. She's the moderator, starter of that group, and it's really neat. And she asked me to, I think I host a question and answer in September. So I'm looking forward to doing that. That's going to be awesome. Yep. So thank you.
Anyone else is welcome to join us. Well, Melissa, thank you, and have a good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you so much. And good night, my friend. Thank you. Virtual hugs all around. Check back on MsMeliz.com within the next few days. You'll see the tweeting and enjoy all the tweeting. I have a big tribe. They like to share. They're awesome people. Make friends with them. You're going to get a lot of tweets over the next few days. Enjoy it. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. This has been 10 Minutes in Tinsel Town with Ms. Meliz. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next week on blab.im and MsMeliz.com. That's MIZMELIZ.com. Use the hashtag 10minute, TENMINITT. And thank you so much for being here. We'll see you soon. Have a good night. We're out. Go do something great for your girlfriend.
Yeah, I've got probably hanging out with her aunt. I've got to go see and eat food is what I need to do.
Me too.
Thank you so much. This was a blast. Thank you for introducing